You have a key, but the person you need to reach lives inside a fortress. There are no doors, no windows, just cold, hard stone. This fortress is the mind of your bitter enemy. Your key is logic. It's facts. It's undeniable proof. And it's completely useless. You've tried everything, pushing harder, speaking louder, arguing better, but the wall just gets thicker. This feeling of futility, it's universal. But what if I told you there's another way in? A method so counterintuitive, it feels like it breaks the laws of human nature. A secret perfected not by psychologists, but by the masters of high-stakes conflict. The French. They learned that you don't break down the door. You convince the person inside to open it for you. And the secret is making them believe it was their idea all along. Our biggest mistake is a simple one. We think conflict is a battle of ideas, so we assemble our army of facts. We polish our sword of logic. We march onto the battlefield of debate, ready for victory, and we charge. You're wrong, and here's the 27-point data-driven reason why. But what happens? The arrows of data bounce off. The sword of logic is parried. Your opponent doesn't just disagree, they dig in. Their position becomes more extreme. Their belief becomes stronger, because you didn't attack their idea. You attacked their identity. You made them feel stupid. You made them feel cornered. And a cornered animal doesn't reason, it bites. The direct assault is a fool's errand. It's the strategy of the amateur. The master strategist knows the battle is won before it's ever fought. The human mind has a fatal flaw. We think we are rational creatures, but we are not. We are rationalizing creatures. We make decisions with our gut, our ego, our heart. Then we use our magnificent brain to build a logical case for why we were right all along. This is the fortress wall. It's a defense mechanism called ego. The French diplomats, especially the legendary Talleyrand, understood this perfectly. They knew you could never defeat an ego head-on, but you could co-opt it. This is the core of the Talleyrand Gambit. A person cannot resist an idea if they believe it is their own. It's no longer a threat. It's an extension of their own genius. It's a validation of their own identity. The goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to plant a seed so subtly, so skillfully, that when it sprouts, the other person looks at the flower with pride and says, "I grew this myself." So how do you plant the seed? You begin by disarming their defenses. And the weapon for this is not a statement. It's a question, not a loaded question, not a gotcha question, a genuine, open, slightly vulnerable question. You stop broadcasting your opinion and you switch to receiving their reality. Instead of saying, "Your plan won't work," you ask, "What are the biggest obstacles you see in making this plan a success?" Instead of saying, "That's a terrible idea," you ask, "Help me understand your thinking. What's the most important part of this for you?" This does two magical things. First, it makes them feel heard, respected. It validates their intelligence. Their ego is no longer under attack. It's being consulted. Second, it forces them to articulate their own logic out loud. And it is in this moment of articulation that they often discover the cracks in their own fortress. They see the flaw, not because you pointed it out, but because they discovered it themselves. You didn't push, you didn't argue, you simply held up a mirror. Once the first crack appears, it's time to plant the seed. This is the reverse frame. It's subtle, it's powerful. First, you validate the emotion, not the logic. You say, "I can see why you feel so strongly about this. It's clear you're passionate about finding the right solution." You are aligning with their intent. even if you disagree with their method. Now their ego is completely on your side. You're a partner, not an adversary. Then, you introduce a fragment of your idea, but you frame it as their idea. You don't say, "We should do X." You say, "Building on your brilliant point about needing more stability, I was just wondering, what if there was a way to get that stability by trying this small thing?" You're not giving an order, you're offering a tool. You make it hypothetical, low stakes, an experiment. I'm probably wrong, but what if? This might be a crazy idea, but since you're the expert, you are handing them the key to the solution. Now, it's not your idea being forced upon them. It's their idea made better. They are the hero who solved the problem. And you just fade into the background. Your mission is accomplished. A word of caution. This technique is like fire. It can be used to provide warmth and light. Or it can be used to burn everything to the ground. The difference is one thing: intent. If you use this as a trick, as a way to manipulate, people will feel it. They will sense the inauthenticity. Your curious questions will sound like an interrogation. Your validation will feel like condescension. And you will not only fail, you will create an enemy for life. This cannot be faked. You must find a genuine desire to understand. You must be willing to have your own mind changed. And you must have the humility to let go of credit. Your ego will scream for recognition. It will want to say, "I told you so." You must silence it. The goal is progress, not praise. This is the path of the diplomat, not the debater. We began with a fortress, an unbreakable wall of opposition. We tried to be warriors, armed with logic and facts, and we failed. Then we learned from the quiet masters of persuasion. We learned to stop being warriors and start being gardeners. We learned that you don't change a mind by force. You change it by creating the conditions for growth, by asking, by listening, by validating, by planting a seed of an idea and nurturing it with patience, until the person inside the fortress looks out, sees a beautiful new path, and walks out into the sun on their own. This is more than a technique. It's a philosophy. It's about understanding that real change doesn't come from the noise of conflict. It comes from the quiet, humble, and profound act of helping someone discover a better truth for themselves.